Hi, it's Catalina here from LoanSense. So every week we release a video for lenders and loan officers and then a video for borrowers. So if you're a borrower, I'd recommend watching the borrower videos. And if you're a loan officer, I'd recommend watching the loan officer videos. This week, it's very interesting news. Well, first of all, I'm really flattered to people who subscribe to our channel. If you value this content, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please like. We had people who we've helped eliminate all their debt entirely that emailed us back and said, please, even though I'm not on your service anymore, can you please still include me on the email? So this weekly email we send out. We send out a weekly email along with these videos. If you would like to join our weekly email, I will have an email address in the description so you can request to join our email list. We send out an email once a week with helpful tips, including a lot of times this video, but other things. I wanted to come today with very interesting news. Number one, we know from our last week's update, there's like week by week updates now that the Department of Education has told the servicers not to send out any letters, right, in regards to starting payments in May. So I wanted to share a few updates. Number one, it's very interesting. For student loan borrowers who have not bought a home yet or may consider buying a home down the line, the state of Maine has just approved a student loan relief program for first-time buyers. They're going to forgive $40,000 of any student debt at the state level if the borrower buys a home and lives in the home for 5 years. That's a requirement. So if you're in the state of Maine, this is super interesting news. It's super interesting news if you're outside of the state of Maine because other states may do something similar and follow suit. So I just wanted to put it out there. Or maybe the state of Maine may become attractive with COVID and working remote to move to if you can get this benefit. We don't know all the ins and outs yet because it just was approved by the Senate. I have not actually read the legislation yet, but I just thought that was super interesting news. I also spoke to some officials at Freddie Mac, which is the regulatory body of mortgage, and they are actually brainstorming the idea of not even counting student loan debt towards the guidelines to qualify for mortgage, which is interesting because it will help student loan borrowers be able to more easily qualify for mortgage. That has not been passed yet, but I wanted to relay that news. Now on the payment front, for those who are not thinking about buying a home but still want their student loan update for the week, happy to provide it. We're still on pause. There's been some prominent figures who have come out in the media to say they really believe we should forgive some amount of debt, like the CEO of SoFi. He says we should forgive $10,000 of debt. And I think he's saying that because they got some I consider it bad press, because the day before in the media, it was like they were sending lobbyists and saying we can't extend the pause anymore. So I think that gave them a bit of bad press because their stock went down. So now they're saying, hey, we actually support a $10,000 relief, right? Which they're trying, I think they're just doing for good press, honestly. But more importantly, the former U.S. Secretary of Education is telling Biden he needs to forgive all student loan debt. So there are prominent figures coming out, some that are more respected by the administration, such as like internal and formal former U.S. education secretaries, for example, as compared to executives of companies that benefit from lending out private student loans, right? So they're saying anyways, NPR also came out with an article that there's high likelihood that the delay may continue. Don't take that as 100% because there hasn't been official update yet. But I did want to say that you should still continue to prepare. This news should not make you be like, well, I'm not going to pay. I did want to say, though, that this last 2 years of pause has equated about $200 billion in relief on interest, which is huge for borrowers. So the delay, the argument on one side is it cripples borrowers from their ability to ever repay. On the other side, it is providing relief, right? So even if you don't get your entire balance waived by not having to pay this interest for the 2 years, it is a form of relief. I just wanted to point that out for those who don't think of it that way, right? There's huge pressure from the left, obviously, to cancel debt. And there's huge amount of people coming out and saying, what is the risk of restarting the payments in May. And the risks include the fact that two giant servicers, Navient and Fed Loans, are winding down their contracts and actually shifting. And Fed Loans is huge because they manage all the public service loan forgiveness. So if they're going to shift out, we're creating a double burden. Number one, telling them restart payments. Number two is like, oh, surprise, you're changing servicers now. So now scramble and figure out who to make your payments to. It's very chaotic, right? So of course, leave it to the government to make it chaotic. But that's why we're here at LoanSense. We can help you manage that chaos. We can help you enroll your paperwork. We can help you understand who your servicer is going to be. We help interpret the letters from your servicers. We're really here to be that buddy, that friendly advisor that can advise you so you're not alone with one of the largest financial stressors of your life, right? So just know we're here to support you along this entire journey. And we want to help you. And of course, we provide everybody with a free plan. So we want to help people regardless of whether they enroll in our service or not. So you can go ahead and get started at our website. There is benefit to enrolling though, because then we provide you the personalized guidance to actually enroll and manage your student loan debt. So that's the perk. I wanted to put that out there. And of course, we're very mission driven. So our 100% intent is to relieve your financial stress and show you the pathway and assist you so you're not calling Fed Loans or whoever your servicer is, Mohila, and get frustrated and feel like, oh my God, I just can't do this. Like I'm just not going to do it, and like give up. We're here to support you. We understand all the rules. We understand how to navigate the system. And so let us be here to help. Okay. Lastly, what I wanted to discuss today on the borrower side of our channel is, there's a lot of critics talking around like, what is the impact on inflation, right? What is the impact on inflation? I mean, inflation actually makes your payment less, like feel less, because if you're paying $500, well, now $500 is worth less. It feels less, although wages have not increased at the rate that inflation has. So this inflationary time makes it quite challenging, I think, for the administration to think about how to continue with the student loan, because there's obviously national impacts from an inflationary standpoint, but we also don't want to negatively impact borrowers, right? So that's the quick and dirty, I like to call it, update on the student loan side. I wanted to say I'm like really proud of our team. I don't want to take a moment to brag, but I do, because it does impact you as well. We have been helping people with temporary expanded public service loan relief. Do not forget, April 1, you must file. We've helped borrowers, and we're getting like letters from them showing like 168,000 complete relief, like zero balance. They've been zeroed out. So even borrowers who have filed incorrectly for like 20 years with the temporary expanded, like they didn't even enroll, like weren't even in an income driven plan. We help them get complete loan relief. Okay. People who have been struggling to get payments qualified, we have helped them qualify their payments and get complete loan relief, right? People who have made accidental consolidation decisions because they were called by some robo company, we've helped them achieve relief, right? There's like a lot of different use cases we've helped people achieve relief. And so if you have worked for federal government or nonprofit for any length of time, and you have not gotten those payments qualified, you must enroll before October 1st, especially if you don't know the future. You could go work for a nonprofit again, or something, and you want to at least have those payments count, and you want to get as many payments counted while we have this temporary expanded relief, in lieu of just being like, I didn't work one for 10 years, so I'm not going to do it. No, you should try to qualify as many payments as possible. You never know what your future holds. And now is the most generous time to like forgive any errors borrowers have made, and we help you make the case for that. So even people who are like, well, technically the legislation doesn't say that my Peace Corps service counted and I was in deferment. Nope, we got all those payments counted, right? So it's at this point like discretionary for the loan servicers, but they're being more generous because there's such a large pot of money that Biden set aside for this temporary expanded public service loan relief, right? So don't get demoralized and be like, oh, officially it doesn't qualify or whatever, and get demoralized. Like, you don't know. There's no harm in trying and no harm in like getting our assistants to make the case with you, because you could make a really good case for relief for a lot of your payments, even if it's not 100 of them. We've helped get complete relief for a lot of people, but even if you could get, 8 years or the majority of your payments counted, like that's a huge step towards qualifying for complete forgiveness. So we are here on standby to answer any questions. You can get a free plan at myloansense.com. We cannot wait to serve you. Please comment below, like, subscribe, share this with anyone who works for a nonprofit that you may know, because they can really benefit from this information, both on the home buyer side as well as the expanded relief side. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great rest of your week.